ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
We're here today at Jack Cook Field, but the Thundering Herd are not on the field. Instead, it is college wooden bat baseball. Summer baseball is back in Huntington. Welcome in. It's The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. For the next hour, we're going to be coming to you live before the first ever Coldcats baseball game. And, of course, if you need tickets, I got the guy to talk to right now. Ryan Crisp is with us, Associate Athletics Director, Annual Giving, Ticket Sales, and Fan Engagement, because he's got all the details on how you can get tickets for tonight, tomorrow, and the rest of the season. How you doing, brother?
I'm great. How are you, Paul?
I'm good. You know, it's good to actually be out of the studio. We're here at the ballpark, summertime, and we're going to have baseball for the next couple of months. I know you got to be excited about that.
I am. I'm glad that we're able to host the Coldcats in our facility, and I'm very thankful for Kindred Communications on taking on the game operations and the running of the team and everything that goes into that. And we're excited to open up our ballpark. And the good news is tickets are all through us. So it makes it easy in terms of if you're a Marshall season ticket holder or a Marshall ticket purchaser, it's the same process. You should be accustomed to it. If you have our app, you can have all your tickets accessed in the app or download them to your Apple Wallet, and just makes it a very smooth and easy process for all of our fans.
And this isn't not one of those situations where you have to have priority points, anything like that. This is completely different. So people that maybe have never gone through Marshall University before and they're looking for an easy transaction, they're going to have a smooth ticket purchase process.
They are, yeah. There's no issues at all. Either log into your account or create your account, and you can have tickets in less than a couple minutes. 4 clicks to purchase the ticket, and you can have a reserved seat, a standing room seat. We even offer a club level ticket in our premium space. So lots of options, lots of different price points. One for everyone's either budget or what they're looking to get out of the game.
Now, will this be digital tickets only? How will that work?
Yeah, so we're going to push digital as much as possible. There's always the option if we have to have a paper ticket for whatever reason, technology errs, whatever it may be. But we will push digital as much as possible. It's really convenient. Fans that are a little hesitant to switch over, once they switch over, they realize how great it is. So it's a great option and an easy option for fans.
Now, we're cashless in the ballpark as well, right?
We are, yes. That includes the ticket office outside the ballpark. But, yes, everywhere around Jack Cook Field is cashless. We softly did that for Marshall baseball, and we didn't run into any issues at all. And so look for that to continue to expand throughout Marshall Athletics and the Coldcats.
Now, refresh me. If someone does have cash, they want to convert that, there are gift card options as well?
There are, yeah. No, you can have the gift card options, so no one will be out of luck here. But just remember to bring that debit or credit card and make it an easy, smooth, and safe transaction for everyone.
So how's it been so far? As excitement is built for this. This is the first game, 1 of 48, and 24 of them will be here at Jack Cook Field. A lot of excitement from the fans. Standing room only tickets. Where are we at right now?
Yeah, I think we'll probably end up somewhere in the 1,500, 2,000 range tonight, depending on walk-up crowds. It looks like the rain's out of here and the weather looks perfect for the rest of the night. It might even cooled off a little bit. And so I think it's going to be a great crowd for opening night. And like you said, just the first of 24. So come out, something to do in the summertime in Huntington, and an easy place to enjoy you and your family.
Ryan Crisp is with us. He's the Associate Athletics Director, Annual Giving, Ticket Sales, and Fan Engagement. Now, I know there have been a lot of questions that have probably come your way. What are some of them that fans have maybe asked time and time again that maybe you can knock out here with me right now? Yeah,
I think the biggest thing we get right now, our phones were pretty heavy throughout the day in the ticket office, and they just want to confirm that we were handling the tickets and how to purchase tickets. So herdzone.com for online transactions, or 800-THE-HERD, Monday through Friday from 9 to 4. And we'll get you taken care of over the phone. On the website, you have your pick your sheet option and all the different price points that are offered and all the different types of tickets. So it's a great place to shop around and see what fits you and your needs best.
It's not been that long, but it's been a few weeks at least since we had Marshall baseball here. What did you learn from the process of going through a season here at Jack Cook Field, and what might we see different from Marshall baseball to Coldcats baseball?
Yeah, I think, through Marshall baseball, we got better in terms of in-game promotion and what we did throughout the year, different food options and just the different way we did things and how we offered things. And so you'll see that reflected in the Coldcats, a lot more promotions, a lot more fun with everyone getting involved, the music selection. Then also from a ticket price standpoint and the different ways to buy tickets, just the different levels and the different options. We're seeing tickets across the board. It's not like the cheapest ticket is by far not the most bought ticket. And so people are looking for a convenient or maybe a different seating section, something behind home plate. So no matter where the ticket price point is, people are purchasing based on what their budget are and what they're looking to get out of it.
And, of course, concessions are a key part of coming to the ball game. What'd you learn there? Is there anything that you've implemented or changed up a little bit or just improved upon?
Yeah, just improved upon. I think the concessions are handled a little different with the Coldcats, but with Marshall we learned, the different options. For Cinco de Mayo, had a taco burrito option, which was great, and they actually sold out of food before the rain delay. That game was one that got rain fell in the fifth inning, but they sold out before that, so that was great. Austin's ice cream truck was here and it was a huge hit. They had a line for so long all the time. And then also there was a barbecue truck that came for 4 or 5 games toward the end of the year and had really good success sale-wise. So just the different variety, the different options for fans is what they're looking for.
Brian Crisp is with us. Marshall playing host to the Coldcats all season long. So 24 games here for the Coldcats. More importantly, great use of the facility, not just sitting here empty during the off months. Marshall's integrated itself with this, so that doesn't mean just the ballpark, but the facilities are hosting the players as well, the dormitories. What is that partnership like between Marshall University, MLB, Appalachian League? You're not just providing a facility, it's all in just about an experience.
Yeah, for sure. No, this project, this building of Jack Cook Field, was an economic project for the entire region. And so not only are we exposing Huntington, West Virginia to, the 30 kids that are on the Coldcat roster that'll be here all summer, but also every single visiting team that comes here, which is great from a Marshall recruitment standpoint as student athletes, as baseball players, or just as people in general. Also, just from a hotel standpoint, our guys that are here throughout the summer are staying in Marshall dorms and, eating at dining halls and having that option there. But every visiting team is going to stay in a hotel. They're going to spend money at local restaurants. The parents of these players that are coming into town and the fans of these teams, they're going to spend money in Huntington, and they're going to hang out in Huntington. And hopefully, from a local standpoint, people come to watch the game, and they go out to eat at a local restaurant nearby, or come spend money in the ballpark at our concession stands. Either way, it's just going to be great for our area and for our region, and it provides a very affordable option for families to do throughout the summertime.
Have you workshopped that yet, what the economic impact will be of this when it's said and done this season?
We have worked with a group within Marshall University. That's what they do. That's what they specialize in. That's what they study in. And they have all the data from year one, and they are actually currently going through and dissecting that and figuring out exactly what the impact was. And we're going to expand that to more sports, too, in football and basketball. One of the moves we made to kind of think about is, we moved basketball game times on Saturdays up to 4 p.m. A lot of that is due to fan feedback and families with young kids. They want to come to the games, but when it's a 7 o'clock tip, they may have to leave at halftime or even before halftime to get the kids home. So we moved that up to 4 p.m. also from a travel standpoint in the wintertime. It can be rough in the winter sometimes with ice and snow and it getting dark so early. So moving it up makes it a little more convenient for fans driving to the game. But then also when you go look at the local restaurants, whether before or after the game, when the game gets over at 6:30 or 7 o'clock and you go downtown and try to eat, it's packed. So just there's a lot of things that go into why we do what we do and how we can and want to help everyone.
Does that play any into setting times for the Coldcats as well? Because I know times are a little different than Marshall baseball. Does MLB set that? Did Marshall have input in that?
Yeah, MLB sets the time for the Coldcats. I do think that they are good times. 7 o'clock starts other than Sundays, which is that 4:30 time frame. But that 7 o'clock start makes it easy if you get off work and head down to a local restaurant here and have dinner and then come through and watch the game. It does make it convenient, and it's a good timing.
Our guest is Ryan Crisp. He's the Associate Athletics Director for Annual Giving, Ticket Sales, and Fan Engagement. The Coldcats begin Season 1 here at Jack Cook Field. When this is over, you got to go back to work, because I know you can take the next couple months, just enjoy the baseball, right? But we got football, we got a lot of things that are coming up. Truly, you don't have an off week, do you?
We do not. No, we are working full time right now on fall sports. We just finished up our men's soccer season ticket renewal on Friday, so we've been working the last couple of days of finishing that work up on the back end. Had great renewal rates once again for men's soccer as expected, and there is a whole list of people that have placed a deposit for next year that are waiting to purchase season tickets. So we're in a good spot there. And then football season tickets are on sale to the public right now on herdzone.com. Once again, had a very strong renewal period for that, and so we'll be looking to grow that fan base and promote those season tickets throughout the summer. But it never stops for us, and so we're always working, always looking to improve. We're looking to finalize all of our marketing plans for the fall sports actually tomorrow, and then share those with our teams and what our plans are and what we look to do. And so it's an exciting time, but I don't know if it's ever a downtime for us.
No, but at least we've got baseball for the next couple of months to kick back and watch here. And it's a great usage for the ballpark. And it's also, would you say it's a proof of concept that maybe this venue can host other events, not just minor league baseball? Well, college wouldn't bat. Yeah, I got to get that distinction, in my head, because it's easy to call this minor league baseball, and in a sense it is, but it's college wooden bat prospect league type action. Some of the best baseball we're going to see at this level is in the Appalachian League, and it's something that maybe could lead to something else here at this venue years from now, or maybe next year, who knows, at the rate that Christian Spears and Marshall moves.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think we wanted to get through year one and understand a little bit and how it looks. And now that we kind of know what the Coldcats are going to look like and what Marshall baseball looks like, don't be surprised if you see some summer games in here, fall games, high school games, even maybe some weekend tournaments with 12U or 15U baseball. But then also, even outside of baseball events and concerts and community events and things like that, we'll always look to expand, always look to grow, and of course always look for a way to make some revenue for us.
Our guest is Ryan Crisp. Usually you hear him during the fall, as he is the Associate Athletics Director for Annual Giving, Ticket Sales, and Fan Engagement. And this is going to be Game 1, 24 games here at Jack Cook Field. And then we'll be right back at it with Marshall Athletics in earnest, including soccer, obviously, with football. Basketball is going to be right around the corner as well. I know we just stopped playing basketball recently here, so no rest for you. Anything else maybe that you want to get out there that we didn't touch on that maybe I overlooked?
Yeah, I'd just be ready for all fall sports to be ready. Volleyball, women's soccer. I don't know if anyone's paid attention closely to women's soccer lately, but obviously we hired Rafa Simones from our men's staff to come over and coach our women's soccer team, and the roster is going to look much different. And so be expecting for that program to look very similar to the men's program as we move forward. I don't know if you remember back in Chris Grassie's first year, wasn't the best record-wise if you look at it, and then the next year he jumped to 18-3. So just be on the lookout for that, and it's one of those deals. It was the same for women's basketball. Before this women's basketball season, Paul, we got on the radio and preached, if you want to get in now. Get in this year because they're going to take off. And now those courtside seats are sold out, and I don't see anyone not renewing those, and so it's going to be a wait list for those. It's going to be the same for women's soccer. Get in now and get your spot in line before it takes off.
Any facility updates? I know the scoreboard. I haven't been down there in a while, so did we get the video board down there yet? Or we're close?
The steel finished up last week, so the structure is actually there, so you can see where it's going to be. The video board has arrived, and so it will be going up over the next few weeks. We are adding a bleacher at soccer that will be a reserved seat for people. So more seating, more reserved seating, which I think is key down there. And then be on the lookout. Nothing finalized yet, but we are looking to hopefully expand the fence line over there a little bit, add some more space and some more just fan areas for people to hang out and people to socialize.
Ryan Crisp is with us. Good to talk to you again. We're going to see you at the ballpark a lot. Ryan is the Associate Athletics Director for Annual Giving Ticket Sales and Fan Engagement. And you're throwing out the first pitch, right? It's you?
I don't think so. I think that honor goes to Mr. Stroud, who worked miracles to get this thing where it is today. So good for Tony, and I'm excited.
Maybe you could speak to that just for a moment, what it was that he really had to do to make this work.
Yeah, I think there was just a lot of moving parts and a lot of obstacles to get through, to be able to use the facility and to be able to get someone to run and operate the team, and how the financials look on that of, where's the concession revenue go to, where's the ticket revenue go to, where's the sponsorship revenue go to. Just a lot of different areas, a lot of things to look at, and he was an integral part to get it to where it is from a legal side as Marshall's chief of staff and legal counsel to get it where it is. And
that's because this is, of course, a public university, and you just can't open up the doors and say, oh, here you go, have fun.
Yeah, and where the funding goes is important, and how it looks and how that gets divided and all that. So a lot of ins and outs, and Tony's been great to work with. Tony does so much for not only Marshall University, but especially Marshall Athletics, and making things happen and pushing buttons. And, impossible doesn't exist with him and Brad at the top, and they're willing to try and do anything to make Marshall better.
You think Tony's got a fastball in him? Was he going to throw a sinker
I think
maybe?
So. I think Tony probably's got probably got a good little fastball behind him, so we'll see.
Okay, maybe a curve?
Maybe. He can handle a curveball. When you call him with an issue and it's a curveball, he can handle it. So maybe he can throw one too.
I like it. My guest, Ryan Crisp. Always good to talk to you. Come by anytime. Look forward to you here in the fall. But we got baseball the next couple of months. We got Coldcats baseball here at Jack Cook Field. Looking forward to it.
All right, thanks, Paul. Go Herd.
More coming up. It's The Drive live from Jack Cook Field here, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Hey, it's Toby from Wendy's. Our new breakfast burrito is a fully loaded breakfast. I don't even know if I have enough time to tell you everything that's inside. 2 fresh cracked eggs, seasoned breakfast potatoes, 6 strips of bacon, cheese sauce, wrapped in a warm flour tortilla. Yes! Now, come and get it. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new breakfast burrito. Only at participating U.S. Wendy's.
Here's another Kindred Communications Community Chatter. The Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association Chapter 12-8 is having their annual charity event June 8th at Smitty's Tavern in New Holland, Ohio. This is to support the Save a Warrior program. If you'd like to help, give them a call at 513-465-4038.
This Kindred Communications Community Chatter brought to you by K&B Pest Control. They'll kill for your business. Get in the groove. Downtown Huntington's premier weekly music event is back. It's Mount West 9th Street Live, presented by New Trail, Garage Beer, Big Truck, The Beast, La Marca Prosecco, and Matua Sauvignon Blanc. This Friday, it's K&B Pest Control Night with Clay Johnson and special guest Keegan McLean on the Marshall OBGYN stage. The Little Caesars Kids Zone is back, and Go-Mart Happy Hour starts at 5. Enjoy food and drinks from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe, Sit Downtown Brasserie, and Summit Beer Station. Mark your calendar for June 21st for a ticket to ride to 9th Street Live, a celebration of the Beatles with the Newbies. Friday, August 2nd, 9th Street is Dead, featuring John Ingram's Dead Center and the music of the Grateful Dead. The Thundering Herd Rally is Friday, August 16th. 9th Street Live is driven by Yes Chevy, Yes Ford every Friday night through Labor Day. 9th Street in Huntington between 3rd and 4th Avenues. Sponsored by Delta Hotels, Marshall OBGYN, Wendy's, Mountain Mindful, City of Huntington, Marshall University, Impact Media, Xfinity, and Kindred Communications.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to Jack Cook Field. Paul Swann, your host for today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. One of the perks of being able to come out to the ballpark is just we can catch up with friends. And today it's been a long time since he's been on the program, and hopefully we can rectify that. From Channel 8 and Fox 11, Jason Hurst. He's the go-to guy. He's the guy that Mark Martin hands the football off to and says, go run. He's the guy.
It's awesome working with Mark. His knowledge is unbelievable. I just try to be like a sponge and soak it all in.
He's just been around a long time. That's what that is about.
But he remembers everything.
He does, doesn't he?
He does.
He does. So you're out here today, of course, the first Coldcats baseball game. You are not a native of the area, so you've been around baseball all your life in different markets. For Huntington, this is kind of a big deal because it's been 30 years since there's been a summer baseball league, be it minor league or be it college, prospect league, wooden bat league. This is 30 years in the making.
Well, I'm a New Englander,
right?
And baseball is everything.
Yeah.
You know, you go down south and SEC football may be king in Mississippi, Alabama, but when you grew up in Connecticut and you're an hour from the New York border, in fact, I'm the first town in New Haven County, and that's the divide between Red Sox and Yankees country. And I'll never forget my uncle said, I can die a happy man now when the Red Sox finally broke the curse. I mean, baseball is just, it's huge. So I grew up with it my whole life and went to Liberty, and a lot of my roommates played baseball. So I've been around the game my whole life, and you're right. It's just fun to have this kind of office, and there's a special appreciation for wooden bats. I really believe if you can hit with a wooden bat, you can play anywhere.
It just sounds right. I mean, we're listening to batting practice right now. It just sounds right.
It really does. And I interviewed one of the players from UNC Asheville, and what was it, Isaac? Help me out here.
Let me get you the roster.
Well, you know what's
crazy?
We're
learning their names.
Well, it's crazy. They're learning each other's names because they only had 3 practices, and then it's a go right now. And Isaac Turner, the infielder from UNC Asheville, and he had said to me, he goes, the one great thing about hitting with a wooden bat is you know your strengths and your weaknesses because you can see the spots on the bat, and then if you break a bat, well, you know you're getting jammed inside. So you really can learn about who you are as a hitter and with a wooden bat, because I've seen it many times, and so have you. A guy hits a ball off the handle, and somehow it carries over for a home run, with that aluminum bat. It's crazy.
Coldcats baseball coming up tonight here on Jack Cook Field. We'll have the game always here on all the home games right here at ESPN 94.1 AM 930. Jason Toy will occupy this seat, and Woody Woodrum's occupying his seat right now. It's going to be fun. We're just going to have summer baseball on the radio, summer baseball here. Of course, you'll have highlights tonight on Channel 8, Fox 11, and you're going to be down here a lot because I know you're going to go back and forth between Charleston and Huntington, so we're going to see you a lot down here.
When I can, when the schedule allows it, so in order to make sure I was here tonight, and you know this, you've got to multitask and be creative. So in order to make this happen, I told them that I would go live, and so normally I'm not in at 5 o'clock. So the swap is, well, you're going live at 5, you're live at 6, shoot the highlights, come back, put on a shirt and tie, and I wouldn't want it any other way. But what you mentioned, too, is I have to juggle the Dirty Birds as well. So I was able to get some help tonight. They're playing, and, they've been fascinating, too. I just love the game. There's something about baseball, as you mentioned, the sounds of the game when the ball comes off that wooden bat, man. It just feels right, sounds right. Just the atmosphere, the fans, as Mark Martin would say, nothing better than a smell of a fresh bag of popcorn. Mm-hmm. And so I just think everything that just you would think of at a ballpark just makes it feel like the best office for us guys. Right?
Yeah, it's we're just here to have fun tonight. That's the beauty of baseball. We can just sit back and have fun tonight while doing the job.
Well, and the other thing you mentioned is learning these guys, and I love the fact that there's a Marshall player, Ohio State, West Virginia,
right.
So it makes it easy to kind of sell to the fan base, and it makes it easy for me to mention it on air because it's a continuation of the season from Marshall, WVU to Summer Ball League, and has that minor league feel with the wooden bats, and I mean, right now you got to be a big baseball fan to have this. WVU going to the Super Regional for first time in program history. And, and I'll tell you what, when Marshall and WVU played this year, man, what an atmosphere.
Oh, it was fantastic. It was such a experience, and you hope that you can have that every night. And it just shows you that if you build a proper baseball park, which Marshall has done, you can do more of that and more people will come, because you didn't see crowds like this at the YMCA field. You never would have imagined a crowd like this for Marshall baseball until you have a venue to call your own.
Well, and when it wasn't fair for Marshall to have to call Gomar Ballpark their home field,
right,
when it kind of felt more like WVU's. I mean, when you got to travel an hour away, and so, I mean, I guess we got to paint the picture if you haven't been here before. I mean, the stripes on this field, it looks like a freshly cut grass. I mean, it's just something about the green. It shows Marshall's colors. It fits well with the Coal Cats. And it just, I mentioned yesterday to Coach Beals that every time I come out here, it looks more and more beautiful every day. I mean, it does look like fresh cut grass. And then when you can have turf look like somebody just mowed it, you're doing something right. And for fans to come around to this ballpark, I mean, sometimes I always feel like baseball stadiums can feel like a cathedral. Mm-hmm. And where else are you going to go within this area to see any better-looking cathedral?
Yeah, this is substantial. This is Major League Baseball all over the place. This is the point of this league. These are prospects. These are players that possibly have a future. You're going to see them one day on a Major League Baseball roster if all goes well. And as you mentioned to your point, if I'm an Ohio State fan, hey, if I'm a West Virginia fan, hey, there's someone here. If I'm a Marshall fan, the tie-in is there's always going to be a Marshall player on this roster, or at least the potential for it, because of that tie-in with Marshall University.
Well, and I also was fascinated. I don't know about you. You were standing next to me during media day and listening to Tommy Gregg mention the story about when he was with the Pirates. I remember him as more of a Brave, but it was just kind of cool for him to tell that Jim Leland story where he said he just kind of got mad because Gray was saying he's even keel as a manager, and he just mentioned the story where Leland comes in, lifts a table, spaghetti goes everywhere. But when he was name dropping like Bonds, Bonilla, Van Slyke, it's just like I was like, wow, man. It kind of put me back into that little kid mode, like thumbing through my baseball cards. And when I was able to interview some of the players yesterday, they said the same thing. It's like, I'm trying to soak everything in. This is a developmental league, but at the same time, these guys have pro experience. How do you not absorb what they're teaching? And you need to, because, as you mentioned, these are 18, 19, 20-year-old kids, but in a year or so, they're eligible for a draft, and next thing you know, in a blink of an eye, they're playing pro ball.
Yeah, or they're getting the opportunity to continue their college careers and then go pro, because some of these kids, this is going to be the most reps they have seen yet. And there are kids who are redshirted, or there are kids who have seen limited time depending on what the situation was. We were talking to one of the players yesterday. He's here because he's rehabbing for Tommy John. And so he gets an opportunity to go out, and he wouldn't have that opportunity right now unless he was in a team and a league like this.
Well, and same thing with Drew Callaway for WVU. He was redshirted, and he can't travel with the team, so he can't go to Chapel Hill for the Super Regional. And so it's like, he said that makes him hungry. And that's what I like to see, is athletes who are hungry. They're right there. And it's just like in this business, whether radio, TV, anything in life you want it, it's there for your taking. You just got to have it, and you got to have that will and that desire. And that's what's great about this league, is these are young, hungry ball players that just want a chance, and it's there for them. And I'm sure you heard the same thing. A lot of us did one-on-one interviews, but every kid I talked to was like, I'm here to learn, I'm here to win, but I'm here to get better. And that's what you want to hear out of these guys.
My guest, Jason Hurst, joining us from Channel 8, Fox 11. Coal Cats highlights coming up on
10 and 11.
10 and 11. Okay, so you'll have them for the 10, you'll have them in the 11, and then you'll be down here as much as you possibly can all season long. And
absolutely.
Course, if you got to leave early and the game's still going on, don't forget you can listen to the game right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930, or get the streaming app. Just go to your app store, search for WRVC. You can listen to it on your Android or your iOS device, and you can listen to the game wherever you're at. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of people listening tonight because there are kids from all over the place.
Well, and I love the fact that we got to talk baseball tonight. It's a passion of mine.
Yeah.
because usually you and I are talking hockey.
Yeah, we're not talking hockey.
We're not talking hockey.
We're not talking hockey. By the way, this is for my benefit only. The listeners, you can just hang for 30 seconds. I'm friends with one of your coworkers, Michelle Kelly. I'm not Michelle Kelly. That's someone I work with. Michelle Carroll. Yeah, I saw Michelle Kelly recently at a wedding.
I know where this is going.
Yeah. So, how glad was she when my team lost? Was she?
I relayed the message. So for the folks that are trying to figure out what we're talking about,
right.
Paul's a Rangers fan,
right?
Michelle is a Carolina Hurricanes fan.
Yes.
I am what you call a Whaler Canes fan because I still think they're alive and ticking, even though 1997 is when they disbanded and moved. But you know what? My green hockey jersey is still strong as ever. So I relayed the message. She gave me a dirty look and said, it was all clean, but she just said she didn't want any part of it. She wanted no part of it.
I just told you to tell her I said hi.
I did relay that to her. But, yeah, I'm glad we got to talk baseball because that's the bond between me and my dad. My dad, it's the only sport he follows. And it's funny, real quick, he's from Missouri. He's a Mets fan. I was born in Connecticut, and I'm the Cardinals fan. But it took one flip of Ozzie Smith for me to realize, hey, I'm not a big guy. As a kid, I was small. I was like, that's what's great about baseball, man. If you got the quick hands, the reflexes, the fundamentals, you can play this game. And so that's why I just fell in love with it. But it was really the bond between me and my dad watching it. And so I'm sure we'll see a lot of father and sons out here this summer, and that's what makes this special.
Yeah, hopefully we will. We need baseball cards. You brought that up earlier. We need baseball cards. I know it's kind of hard with a league like this. So we need baseball cards.
You have every stat imaginable. What's crazy, when I grew up, there was no such thing as a launch angle. The exit velocity. I mean, it's a fancy way of saying you hit the ball hard.
Yeah.
I mean, whether or not sometimes a great out was smoked right to the outfielder, to shortstop. So for me, I love the fact that, Tony Gwynn had over 3,000 hits and most of them were singles.
Yeah.
And same with Pete Rose. It was just a pure beauty to watch him swing. And some guys who were home run guys, like when I was a kid, Darryl Strawberry, Ken Griffey, man, it was just pure beauty to watch that. And so the baseball card, when they got that action shot, you could see that release. I was back there, in my room, looking at every stat and soaking it in.
Right.
And now you can just get on.
That's no fun. NFTs, all that digital cards, that's no fun.
You got to be at a ball game.
Did you have the sticker book as well? Of course you did, right?
I kind of, but not really.
Imagine being a kid during the big red machine era and just going to the corner store to get the latest sticker packs and hope you get all the Cincinnati Reds.
So the corner store for me was a 7-Eleven, and remember the Slurpees, and they had these little, they weren't cards, but they were like a disc.
Yeah.
And they had like Mike Schmidt and Dale Murphy, and they had their stats on them. They looked like a size of a silver dollar.
Yeah.
Man, I remember that summer I drank more Slurpees. My mom was like, you got too much energy. Stop with all the sugar. But I was like, well, I got to get that Mike Schmidt.
Right, look, I need Mike Schmidt.
And Hostess. Remember, Hostess had cards in there. So it was all of a sudden this now became my favorite cereal because so-and-so's on a Wheaties box. It was just so much fun. And as a kid collecting baseball cards. And I think that's why the passion for it, and that's where the bond became with my dad because he understood. That's how actually, believe it or not, my dad taught me the value of $1. And it was kind of learning the stock market kind of before the stock market is just learning baseball cards and its value. But for me, the value was the stats on the back.
Yeah.
But going to card shows with my dad built a connection, and we got to see some players. I remember meeting like his favorite player, Kevin McReynolds, Greg Jeffries, David Cohn, and it was just kind of cool. And real quick, because I know you got to get out of here and go to commercial, but Todd Benzinger was here recently, and I'll end this story real quick. Todd Benzinger was in the caravan for the Reds, and I met him when I was like 11 years old, like 10 years old, and I had a photo, and I found the photo, and so I knew he was going to be there. And right before I interviewed him, I said, "Hey, Todd, you remember this guy?" And he was like, wow. And that was like a 25-year-old him. And he goes, I remember that sweater. And then we did an interview. And then afterwards he goes, hey, can we redo that picture? And we did it, like the pose and everything. And so it was It was fantastic, and that's what baseball is about, and that's what I love about the baseball players. Most of them are so down to earth. The game is just pure to me, and it reminds me of my childhood. And so meeting Todd Benziger as a kid and then meeting him as an adult doing an interview, that's full circle for me.
I love it. Jason Hurst, thanks, buddy.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
See you soon.
Have fun, guys.
More coming up. The Drive from Jack Cook Field, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Hey there, baseball fans. Are you craving a home run of flavor? Step up to the plate and swing for the fences with sliders from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe. Whether you're a fan of French dip, fried bologna, Reuben, or Southern fried chicken, the Marshall Cafe has sliders that'll knock it out of the park. Each order comes with a side of fries, rounding out your winning lineup.
Hey, take me out to the ball game.
Slide into Flavortown with sliders from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe on the corner of Fun and 3rd Avenue, downtown Huntington.
Save big money on pressure-treated lumber for your outdoor project at Menards. Menards has the best in-stock selection of AC2 pressure-treated lumber, all easy to load in our drive-through lumber yard. Choose from our huge inventory of boards, decking, fencing, lumber, and timbers to build your project to last. Plus, you can get free estimates fast with our fence and deck design programs in-store or online at menards.com.
Save big money at Menards.
Hi, this is Quentin. A little thing I love about Chick-fil-A chicken strips are how satisfying they are. The chicken strips are amazing. They're always filling, crispy, tender, and juicy. Definitely one of my favorite things on the menu. Especially when you add in that Chick-fil-A sauce. Always the perfect combination. And then personally, you know me, I'm getting a 4 count. I want as much chicken as possible. I'm that guy. Whenever I get them, whether it be lunch or for dinner, in my household, it's always a winner.
Order the chicken strips on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customer paid for their testimonial.
Here's another Kidder Communications Community Chatter. The Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association Chapter 12-8 is having their annual charity event June 8th at Smitty's Tavern in New Holland, Ohio. This is to support the Save a Warrior program. If you'd like to help, give them a call at 513-465-4038.
This Kenner Communications Community Chatter brought to you by K&B Pest Control. They'll kill for your business.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
What's up?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think you would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
Back here at Jack Cook Field, Paul Swann, your host, is going to be a quick segment because, well, we went a little long with Jason Hurst from Channel 8, Fox 11. That's fine. He was having a good time talking baseball. You know who else is going to have a good time talking baseball tonight? He's going to be on the radio a lot this summer. Woody Woodrum, he'll be part of the crew, bringing you all the home action from Jack Cook Field. Cold-Cats baseball coming up tonight. Hey, you're going to be here for at least, I don't know, 2 months.
Yeah.
24 appearances. Woody Woodrum here tonight.
Yeah, 12 home games per month, I believe it is, and
just
June
about,
and July.
yeah.
And really looking forward to it. You know, it's such a great. I still, Paul, am in the honeymoon phase with this ballpark. I mean, when I come in here, I light up. I start smiling. It's just amazing to me, and that's really been a lot of the guys that did play here at Marshall when we were at. I'm not even talking Route 2 or Charleston guys that were out at that played at the daggone University Heights, out where Walmart dumped all their dirt when they built out there on Route 60, or played at the Nickel Plant Field, which I'm not even sure is there anymore, or they played at the Woody Williams Field at the Field House which both teams were on the same side of the field because there wasn't room on the street side where Marshall Soccer is now. They have the same problem. They can't build over there because it's a street right beside the field. So, and the field house was so much fun. If you hit a ball up on the roof, it was a home run.
Mm-hmm.
But if you hit a certain place on the wall, if it wasn't above the yellow stripe that was up there, then it was a ground rule double. And it was like only about 275 to center. But down the lines, it was more like 450, 500. So, those guys put up with a lot of things. I mean, guys in the 60s will come in and tell you about they drove to games. I mean, can you imagine this weekend we got a series up at Central Michigan? So who's driving? Woody, you're driving, okay. Paul, you're driving. Okay, who else is driving? And those guys would do things like throw water balloons at each other or eggs. They'd stop at a store. And they'd do that all the way back, coming back down the road on 23. So, I mean, all those guys, and especially the guy that the field is named for, Jack Cook, I mean, I wrote some stuff down about Jack today just because I wanted to make sure we didn't short shift him because, it's a name to a lot of the folks.
Yeah.
It's a guy that I loved to me. And we lost him. Well, we lost his son first, Chipper, as in Chip off the block, Jack Jr. And he was, they were the first two father-sons to go in the Hall of Fame together. And then Chip died before Jack did, which just nearly broke Coach's heart. And then Greg Rousey passed away, who was like another son to him. Greg went from being a pitcher to being a assistant coach for Coach for many, many years. And he came here to play baseball, but he was interrupted on the front end by World War II. And then while he was in school, he got to call up for Korea. So he eventually got out, got his master's, taught in HPER, taught safety, health, and that stuff, and coached a team on a bare bones budget. So, all the things that we have here now, if you realize where they came from, you're really impressed. And when players would come in, like Dennis Black played here during, I think, when we were playing State Clouds, and Dennis said, Woody, this is SEC ready. You just put more seats in if you're hosting Florida.
Yeah.
Ole Miss,
And that's
Kentucky.
the thing. You got so much room.
Yes.
You can add more seats as needed. And
straightaway center, left center.
Mm-hmm.
There could be seats there. There's supposed to be some, eventually at least the president told us, Brad Smith, they're eventually going to put some rail cars out there along where the new piece of property that used to be ACF is being sold. And they're hoping to do barbecue and things like that out there. And I know these games, there's going to be a $1 hot dog night, and there'll be a $2 beer night, and there'll be music on Saturday nights after games. So I think it's going to be fun for the family and all that. And when people say, well, I thought it'd be $2 or $3. Well, you got in lately at a movie for $2 or $3?
I would love to go to a movie for $2 or $3.
Yeah.
That can't happen. I have Netflix now for $6.99 with
That's
commercials.
right.
With commercials.
Yeah.
That's how much things are costing these days. Woody Woodrum's with us. Tri-State Coldcats radio broadcast, all home games here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. The Coldcats taking on the Pulaski River Turtles tonight and tomorrow. And then on the road at the Kingsport Axemen. Appalachian League busy tonight as we're getting underway, and we're going to be following all these teams all season long. The Burlington Sock Puppets.
What a great nickname.
The Bluefield Ridge Runners. Say that real fast. Bluefield Ridge Runners.
Yes.
Bristol State Liners versus they're at the Johnson City Doughboys. The Kingsport Axemen are at the Danville Otterbots. And the Elizabethton Rivers Riders at the Greenville Flyboys. These are not the teams I remember in the Appalachian League back in the day.
Well,
I don't remember these teams.
It's a lot of the same
cities.
Yeah,
but
you know,
I don't remember
yeah.
the State Liners or the Flyboys or the Axemen.
Well, and of course,
or the Sock Puppets.
Part of that has been the loss of the minor league affiliations for this league. I mean, this is one of the oldest leagues that's still out there. In 1911, they started the Appalachian League was a D league, right from the get-go, which meant eventually when they were reclassified in the 60s, then they became a rookie league, and that meant that kids that got drafted, they came to the teams, they played a summer schedule. I think the Cubs played a little further into August, like maybe a third month. But, a lot of these teams were there, and some of the fields were quite horrifying. I mean, Marshall wasn't the only school that had to put up with bad fields. Elizabethton had a really tough place to play. Johnson City was not a great ball field to play. And Bluefield is not bad. Bowen Field is actually a nice little facility built there with their, football and their other sports there. So, but it was great to see that Princeton was leaving, and the people at Marshall and the people at our radio group said, no, let's keep that team in the state. And that was the birth of the Tri-State Coal Cats. And, a lot of things are, let's see what happens when we open the gates and people come to the games. I mean, if I was pushed hard, I'd say, yeah, I'd like a shot at maybe redesigning those uniforms next year. But, we're going to have a cool mascot. They're going to have cold drinks, popcorn, seeds. What more could you want for a ball night?
We got to take a break. You remember what those are, right?
No, I don't.
Yeah, no. We have to take breaks in between our talking.
Oh, that's when I have to be quiet, right?
Right, that's when you have to be quiet.
Oh, okay.
More coming up. It's The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Giovanni's Pizza. Fresh, hot, and tasty. Have it delivered right to your door. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
Our Kindred Communications family of stations reminds you of the need for blood donations to the Red Cross. Blood is always needed. It may save your life or the life of a loved one. This reminder is brought to you in part by
the providers at Marshall OBGYN. Online at marshallhealth.org/OBGYN. Dutch Miller Kia, Route 60 in Barbersville, the home of friends and family pricing for everyone. Area Agency on Aging, Southern Ohio's designated aging and disability resource network.
Get in the groove. Downtown Huntington's premier weekly music event is back. It's Mount West 9th Street Live, presented by New Trail, Garage Beer, Big Truck, The Beast, La Marca Prosecco, and Matua Sauvignon Blanc. This Friday, it's K&B Pest Control Night with Clay Johnson and special guest Keegan McLean on the Marshall OBGYN stage. The Little Caesars Kids Zone is back, and Go-Mart Happy Hour starts at 5. Enjoy food and drinks from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe, Sit Downtown Brasserie, and Summit Beer Station. Mark your calendar for June 21st for a ticket to ride to 9th Street Live, a celebration of the Beatles with the Newbies. Friday, August 2nd, 9th Street is Dead, featuring John Ingram's Dead Center and the music of the Grateful Dead. The Thundering Herd Rally is Friday, August 16th. 9th Street Live is driven by Yes Chevy, Yes Ford every Friday night through Labor Day. 9th Street in Huntington between 3rd and 4th Avenues. Sponsored by Delta Hotels, Marshall OBGYN, Wendy's, Mountain Mindful, City of Huntington, Marshall University, Impact Media, Xfinity, and Kindred Communications.
Hi, this is Quentin. A little thing I love about Chick-fil-A chicken strips are how satisfying they are. The chicken strips are amazing. They're always filling, crispy, tender, and juicy. Definitely one of my favorite things on the menu. Especially when you add in that Chick-fil-A sauce. Always the perfect combination. And then personally, you know me, I'm getting a 4 count. I want as much chicken as possible. I'm that guy. Whenever I get them, whether it be lunch or for dinner, in my household, it's always a winner.
Order the chicken strips on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customer paid for their testimonial.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back. Final segment of today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Where did everybody go?
We're having a little problem.
What?
The new players don't know how to drive the batting cage off the field because there's a real art to it. You have to take it and you have to turn it as you take it in the gate so it'll wrap around the gate. And
I was wondering. I looked down there and everybody disappeared. They're all descending upon the.
Mike Kirtner's headed that way, but I know
Is he supervising?
He knows nothing about it, so that's not going to help much.
So the president of Cold Cats baseball is heading there to supervise.
My buddy Kenny Jackson is headed out there too. I see number 34 headed that way. So
you're having fun. You're already having fun.
I really am.
We haven't even gone on the air yet with the broadcast, and that's coming up tonight. A little early. Usually it's going to be 6:50 airtime, 6:45 because, well, game one, you guys wanted an extra 5 minutes to talk.
Jason and I will try to fill an extra 5 minutes if we can.
You think you guys have what it takes?
We should be all right.
All right, so we'll have all the home games right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930 all season long. If you want to listen to the games and you are elsewhere and you're listening to us on the stream, well, guess what? They're going to be streamed here as well.
Yeah.
No restrictions. We got you covered. So I'm looking forward to it tonight. And I know you're excited because it's been a long time since we've had summer baseball back here in the Tri-State and the River Cities. And so
I mean, Bud Bickle did a nice job with the limitations that St. Cloud's had. You didn't have the water issue that Marshall always had in the spring when the river would back up in there. But, you know, the parking was minuscule at best. And when they get a good crowd like the opening night every year and when the Chicken came to town, you know, so people are parking on the streets. Well, all those streets are neighborhoods around St. Cloud, so we were all in their parking spaces. And there were some nasty notes and maybe even an antenna broken off once or twice. Remember when antennas would actually set out on the car?
I remember those.
Yeah.
I remember those well. You would get good radio reception with those.
Yeah, you did. And but, you know, it was fun, even though, like I say, it wasn't perfect for baseball at all. They used the lodge to dress in down there. You know, and then when they lost the Cubs, the River City Rumblers kind of had a rhino for a mascot for the final year. And then you don't hardly remember these because they were in and out so fast. You remember the Huntington Rail Kings?
I do. I made
Frontier League, right?
I made so many friends with those folks because they got beaten by, like, what was it, the Food Fair League? Remind me, it was they got crushed by them.
Yes,
and
everyone.
That was the beginning of the end for baseball.
Their owner sat around and would growl, say, I can't believe I got to let you media guys in free, and I'm supposed to give you hot dogs or something too. He's like, and we went, well, we could not come, and then since you're doing no marketing at all, then nobody would know you're here. And he only lasted 2 months of it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I think I want to illustrate to a lot of people. This is legit. This Appalachian League baseball is legit. What is the Appalachian League? It's a summer collegiate baseball league. It is part of Major League Baseball and USA Baseball Prospects Development Pipeline. It is affiliated with Major League Baseball. It is Major League Baseball. This is not something that you look at and go, oh, they play baseball.
Yeah.
No, this is, these kids have a future in baseball. For Ben Anderson back in the studio. Want to thank Ryan Crisp joining us earlier. Also want to thank Jason Hurst. For Woody Woodrum, I'm Paul Swann. Stick around. We've got baseball coming up later tonight, 6:45. Coldcats baseball right here on your home of the Tri-State Coldcats, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Retransmitting in Glorious FM on 94.1 W227BS Huntington. This is 930 WRVC Huntington, celebrating 100 years of broadcasting.